I think a depression, it's like an inner and immense void. I perceived it as an awful state of feeling empty. It's like seeing an enormous and black void opening in front of yourself, and as a matter of fact, inside yourself. And what is worse is that this inner void creates you the feeling that you are in a terrible situation out of which you see no way out. You are not able anymore to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So you are simply blocked in this black void that you perceive inside yourself. That is at least the way I perceived depression. What is very important to understand is that when a human being has a traumatic experience, no matter if we speak about the death of someone you love very much, an accident, an operation, or any kind of emotional shock, you tend to use one of the basic survival instincts of, let's say, self-preservation, and your invisible bodies that you do not usually perceive with open eyes tend to move from their right place. I will try to give you a very simple and basic example. If one day you are in the street and suddenly you have the feeling that a car comes towards you with a great speed and there is a risk that the car will hit you, then all your subtle bodies, the invisible bodies, the emotional body, mental body, etheric body, astral body, and so on, tend to defend themselves and act in this way of activating the self-preservation, the survival instinct, and they will move from their right place. For example, if you feel a menace coming from your left, then your subtle bodies will move to your right. And if nothing really happened in the end, and if fortunately the car didn't hit you, everything is all right, but your subtle bodies moved from the center of your body. Generally speaking, all the invisible bodies should follow the central line of your spine, horizontally, vertically, and in depth. So in 3 dimensions, all your subtle bodies should be built up following the same straight line, which is the spine of your body. So they're all in the invisible planes, designed to cover your physical body and to nourish it. And if the event, the shocking experience passed, but you feel dizzy, you have a headache, or you can't concentrate, or you feel very tired, there might be hours, or even days or weeks, when you have all your invisible, your subtle bodies in a wrong position, like let's say like a fan, and not staying centered and nourishing and energizing your physical body. So we must be very careful, especially after traumatic events, after accidents, or any kind of emotional shock. It mustn't be something physical all the time, but even if you have let's say the shock that your husband told you that he wants to divorce and you didn't expect it at all. So it's not something physical, but the shock might be so difficult to bear for your being, then that your being will naturally activate this survival instinct, and not being able to accept that particular situation, your subtle bodies will move from their natural place. So in the following days and weeks, you will start feeling without energy, feeling extremely tired, dizzy, with headaches and with different problems that will persist. And if you don't manage to heal yourself, or you don't search for the help of a therapist, of course that you will have problems that in time will tend to become more serious. So it is important to try to bring all this energetic and inner balance and all these subtle bodies back to their original place in order to be okay after a traumatic event. Because otherwise, what happens is that, as a matter of fact, an important part of your own energy and of your own soul does not nourish anymore your physical being. And you might start getting depressed because this feeling of void, and this is the most important idea I want to transmit right now, this feeling of depression, which I see as an inner void, is sometimes caused by the mere feeling of being empty of yourself, of your own energy and of your own soul. If you do bring your energy and your soul back to its original place, you might start to feel better, to have a more clear mind, and then automatically you might start finding solutions, and you might become able to see again the light at the end of the tunnel. Of course that you might use a various range of therapies. Of course that regression might also help if you go in the current life or in a past life to the original moment when the cause of the trauma happened. Of course that you might use any therapy that works with emotions, with feelings, with thoughts, in order to understand what blocked you, what made you feel this feeling of not being able to get out of a situation. And as you release all these tensions, and if you also work with therapies that offer you the possibility to find answers from the realms above us, to be helped by your spiritual guides or by archangels and so on, you might start seeing the solutions, and you start feeling better, and you start doing all the necessary steps in order to be able to find the proper solutions. And I repeat it once again, it's essential to be full of your own energy and of your own soul. And it's also important to know that sometimes when we have very difficult years, and when we have many problems, and when we are overwhelmed by thoughts and by worries, our energetic bodies and all our soul tends to change its natural place and to concentrate on the upper part of the physical body. And then to some extent the lower chakras, the ones which are placed beyond the plexus, so let's say Manipura, Svadhisthana, Muladhara, the chakras who are on the upper and the lower abdomen, and the chakra placed in the sexual area, tend to be left without energy, or with much weaker energy than needed. And this state of depression might also appear in these kind of situations. So we must practice meditations, prayers, anything that brings us relaxation and inner peace. And of course that if we want, we might also choose a therapy, no matter what kind of physical, energetic, emotional therapy, in order to help us release tensions, relax, have a better sleep and so on, and in order to bring slowly our energetic field to the lower chakras too, in order to be completely nourished by our energy and by our own soul. And thus the state of depressions might diminuate a lot and eventually might even disappear.